What's up, YouTube? Making another attempt at this after getting interrupted a few times, and my phone buzzing a few times while I'm trying to record. So we got do not disturb on, so hopefully that'll help. And I've got everybody inside, so family isn't running out here asking me what I'm doing. Anyway, so this video is going to be an overview of what is in my car, what I've done to my car, and a little bit of what my future plans are. Quick editor's note. Didn't think this video would go as long as it did. So I'll just put in the description all the stuff in the car. And if you're curious of just purely on the list of things in the car, it'll be there. Otherwise, check out the rest of the video. And I'll probably talk about all the things in the car and might ramble a little bit more than I intended, but hope this helps. So yeah, let's just get into it. So this is a 1998 Honda Accord Coupe V6. All the stuff you can't see on it. I've got the floor, the doors, up the firewall a little bit, the rear deck, the entire trunk, quarter panels, all that stuff. Has a layer of second skin Damplifier Pro. I did up the firewall a little bit when I pulled the dash out. This car had no heat and really sucked because I was up in Minnesota at the time. And couldn't do it while I was at school. Once I came home from school because I had to do chemo. It's a long story. Definitely sucked. But anyway, we're still here, for better or for worse. But had some friends help me because I couldn't do it myself. Pull the dash, do the heater core, did some sound deadener, and then I wanted to make sure this car stayed warm, and I went a little overkill, and I bought insulation that is it looks like bubble wrap with like foil on each side of it. So everything under the carpet has that insulation, and then the whole trunk has that insulation as well. So, and then the trunk lid is 2 layers of the Damplifier Pro. The roof is 2 layers of NVX sound deadener. So I'll put links in the description for just about everything that I used. So that's the deadener situation. My next project, once it's warm out, because I hate doing this when it's cold. I hate pulling apart the car when it's cold because everything is brittle. Especially being 20 plus years old, 20, almost 25. Car's almost as old as me, so I'm 26. But anyway, once it's warm, I'll pull apart a lot of this stuff. I might pull the headliner down, re-roll the sound deadener. I need to pull the sunroof assembly down because that's blocking me from really rolling it, and I want to make sure it's set correctly. And then I'll put some Loctite on a few things. And a friend of mine told me this trick. He said, when you pull apart all the clips, all the places where the plastic slots together, wrap that with electrical tape because it will make it fit tighter, but it also reduces the possibility of squeaking and creaking and rattling. So I'm going to do that with a lot of things because I have a lot of things that are buzzing in this car. So yeah, to the speakers. So front doors, we have V-Series components. So it's a 6.5-inch woofer with a 1-inch tweeter, NVX V-Series. The rear deck are V-Series 6x9 coaxials. So it's a 6x9 and then a 1-inch tweeter in the center. I would like to go to the X-Series. So that's the new speakers from NVX. Supposed to be a little bit better. They're a little bit shallower, so they'll fit better. So with these Hondas, the coupes, The rear deck is different from the sedan. The window's at a different angle. The spacing is different on the speakers and the torsion bars that hold up the trunk. So with the coupe, you can't go much more than 3 inches of mounting depth. It's like 3.2 is your maximum. But with that, your magnet diameter cannot be more than 3 inches. So these, it's like 3.5, and so you actually need it to be spaced up a little bit. So I put my torsion bars back in so my trunk works normally, and I had to take the speakers out. So right now there's no speakers back there. I'm gonna go get a sheet of plastic, make just little spacers. Should be really easy. Just trace the speaker and drill some holes, and I'll put some second skin Damplifier rope. I don't know if they still call it that. I bought a big spool of it's butyl rubber. Anyway, so that's the speakers. And then I think we can jump out of the car, look at what's under the hood. We'll look at the amps a little bit. We'll look at everything else. So we'll be right back. Outside of the car, looks like we were flexing a little bit too hard and this broke the clip on the top there, so I'll have to fix that. This light, you can see the screw is missing, so the plastic clip on this side broke and the screw rattled out, so I'm gonna put yeah, there it is. So I'm gonna have to fix that, and I'm gonna do the other side before that one breaks. Up here in the front, originally I did just the kind of big 3 upgrade, so all the power and ground wires were replaced with 0 gauge. So from the factory, it goes from the alternator to the fuse box, and then from the fuse box to the battery. I upgraded. I went with an AutoTech 320, and it charges at a little, like 14.8 to 14.9, depending on the temperature. I added an extra run of power directly to the battery. This is, I believe, DEI heat tape to insulate it, so it definitely helps. I need to zip tie all these. I haven't, I just recently adjusted a bunch of stuff, so I'm gonna zip tie all that together. I have hella horns because my original horns died. This battery is the first thing I ever bought for this car. It is almost 8 years old now. It served me well. It still works, but the resting voltage is like 12.0, which is not ideal. It'll still start the car, but this is a bottleneck. The terminals are really torn up, so these terminals have trouble staying tight. So this is the bottleneck at this point. I think I'm just going to delete the front battery, run everything off the rear battery, which is an XS Power D1200. But yeah, lots of 0 gauge, sky high terminals here, the 6-point terminals. Kind of custom exhaust. I have eBay headers, eBay J pipe, test pipe, cherry bomb mid muffler, and then it Y's out, and I have Flowmaster rear mufflers. So had to re-weld pretty much everything because eBay stuff never lines up right. This summer when it's warm, I'll pull the headers off, tighten up the wrap on this one, and then wrap the rear one and redo the gaskets because I have an exhaust leak on the back, and we'll tidy that up, get it ready for the 2023 season. But moving to the inside of the car, also, this is the wrong color. Pulled that from a junkyard because somebody hit me, and yes, we're wearing slides because it's a wonderfully warm 40-degree day in January. So anyway, we have a sky-high bass knob. That's the standard size. We have a NVX VUBT2 Bluetooth module feeding an XEQ7. I went over this a little bit in my video on troubleshooting the gains on my amplifiers. Climbing back here, we have XS Power D1200, all 0 gauge. We have sky high, dual 0 gauge inputs. We have the NVX XAD15. This is a 5,000 watt amp. This is the JAD900.5. So this is the first amp I bought for this car. First amp I bought, I think, ever, actually. I've just been having fun with it, and it's worked really well. Right now I just have 8 gauge on it because it's only running the mids and highs, and by my math it's probably only pulling between 20 and 30 amps, so almost nothing. Got a custom fuse block. I really need to swap those 200s for 300s, so I've got brand new fuses for that, new fuses for between the batteries. I'm going to delete the front battery, but that's going to be a project for another day. When I delete the front battery, front and rear are different, so I have an isolator in that corner. I can get rid of the isolator, get rid of the front battery. Those are both bottlenecks. Hopefully this rear battery, just straight off the alternator, will actually have better performance than both batteries together. NVX VCW12 dual 4s, version 2s. They're about 3 years old. If you look at my video about the subs being blown, I only half jokingly said that. You can see I had to put some glue on these. The surrounds were hitting the speaker grills, and so it tore up the surrounds. I glued them back together. So far they seem to be working okay, but I will be hopefully replacing them at some point in the next couple of months here. So I think that's everything in the system. So now I guess we'll talk about future plans and what we're going to do next. All right, back in the car. So that's pretty much everything that's done to the system. Because I have the Bluetooth module, I have no radio. So future plans with this thing. Buddy of mine, his truck kind of died, and he's taken the radio out of it and given it to me. So I'll have a nice Pioneer doubled in. So I'm gonna have to redo my switch panel. So we'll figure that out. But I want to go with lithium, and after this I'll make a video. I've been talking about doing this for a while, but I've done most of the research at this point, and I will do a video about lithium and what I want to do with this car, the different voltages that lithium will handle, alternator voltage, things like that, things you can do. So anyway, I'll have a Pioneer doubled in. What I want to do is NVX. I think it's the best bang for your buck product. I think they're super underrated. I think it's a great company. But they don't have everything I want. So I'm looking at PRV. I'm looking at doing custom door panels. And basically I want to do an 8-inch mid bass with a 1-inch compression driver, otherwise known as a horn, and then like a 2-inch super tweeter, and do active 3-ways on the doors. And I want to keep the rear deck as well. So what I'm thinking is the 8-inch, the 1-inch horn, 2-inch super tweeter. Horns are basically designed for recreating the vocals, so it'll make music sound amazing. Anyway, so active 3-way on the doors with custom door panels. I'll keep the rear deck going, so that's 4 channel, no. Yeah, that would be 4 channels. So I need 2 separate 4-channel amps, because 4 channels would be like front left, front right, rear left, rear right. That's only 2 speakers on each side. So I'm doubling that because I'm having 3 in a door and then 1 in the rear. So it's 4 to each side. So I'll end up needing 2 4-channel speakers, 4-channel amps. And what I'm going to do is I'll run the front channel off of the radio to a PRV DSP. It'll allow me to do all of my crossovers, my time alignment, volume, like level adjustments, so I can have just the radio volume as the master volume. The PRV will automatically adjust everything to make it level. So I'll do it that way, and we'll have to do all new RCAs, which is fine, but it'll clean up everything. We'll go NVX for the RCAs, NVX on the amps. So we'll have X-Series for all the amps. We'll have the XAD. Well, the XAD15 is the 5K that I just got, and then the XAD, is it the 12? Or no, XAD41. I believe it's the 41. So it's a 1200.4, basically. It's 1 ohm stable. I think it does about 100 watts a channel. So we'll have 2 of those. So we'll have, and we'll be on higher voltage with lithium. So it'll probably do at least rated power. So we'll have, what? For 800 watts approximately on the mids and highs. And we'll have to adjust accordingly. We might have to turn them up or down based on what the speakers are seeing. That'll be a lot of tuning, but I'm all for it. I enjoy that kind of stuff. I enjoy the electronics and troubleshooting and whatever. But so we'll have 3 amps. We'll have the PRV running the 2 4 channels. We'll have the radio bass output going to the bass knob, and then the bass knob going to the rear bass amp. So so I'm looking at doing 3 banks of yinlongs. Complete overkill for what I'm doing, but I'd rather have very stiff voltage. You know, with that much lithium, the voltage should not even flinch at what I'm doing. So looking forward to that. But the main thing stopping me is finances. You know, this is, by the time we get all the speakers for the doors, speakers for the rear deck, 2 new amplifiers, a lithium battery, I should have enough zero gauge to make everything work. But I might even run 4 gauge to the mids and highs amps, just because they don't need that much amperage, especially the higher voltage. Higher voltage, you'll have less amp draw. So new subs, and then I want to do all Russian Baltic birch for the battery delete, the amp rack, the lithium case, and the subwoofer box. And just in wood, you know, it's probably a good $300 easily. And then all the hardware, the new subs. So I'm expecting that to be probably like $3,000 upgrade. So 2023, we're going to be, basically 2022, I started doing audio competitions and stuff and started learning about this. 2023, I understand it all, and now I'm going to be saving up to actually build the system that I should have shot for in the beginning. 2024 should be a lot of fun, and maybe do more demos and stuff with this thing, have it more dialed in so we can really keep banging on it all day. But yeah, I've learned a lot, been having a lot of fun, and yeah, I hope what I'm doing with this channel is helping other people. I'm just videoing what I do normally. I'm not doing anything special. I'm not doing, you know, I'm not seeking out things to do for content. I'm just recording what I do, what my hobbies are. I think this is the hobby I have the most fun with. Yeah, so next video should be talking about lithium and alternator voltages and things like that, and what I'm going to plan next for this car on that topic. And then I'm working on talking to a friend of mine, the guy whose shop I use every once in a while. We're going to tint the windshield. So it doesn't really look like it, but this is 20% all the way around, and I want to do 50% on the windshield. But I want to do it myself. I want to learn how to do tinting, and I think it'll be a fun little project. So that's also coming up. But again, I'm just, recording what I do as a hobby and what I do for fun. So videos are not going to be, I'm not going to have daily uploads. It might not even have weekly uploads, but I hope that my videos are helpful, help people that are figuring these things out, get an idea of what they want to do, or how all this works. And anyway, I appreciate all of you. I'm excited. We just hit 250 subscribers, and if at some point I start making money off this channel, 100% of it will go back into the channel. It'll go into more speakers, more wiring, I might buy a camera, I don't know, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. And until then, stay tuned, like and subscribe, and you should be expecting a couple more videos here in the near future on lithium and possibly window tinting, and how good or bad that goes. So should be a fun process. But anyway, thanks for watching, and have a good day.